Good day, everyone, and welcome to Sitecore training for content approvers. My name is Diana Wages, and I'm with Connecticut Interactive. Today, we will be covering two modules during this session. The first one will be approving and rejecting a page through the email notification. And the second module will be approving and rejecting a page using the workbox. Now, just as a reminder, in order for you to be able to edit any of the pages that you are approving, you need to have content author training to go through this. And if you would just follow along with us on the content author training, you'll learn more about how the Sitecore overview and learn how to edit a page. Now, your Sitecore account also needs to be set up to be approver, set up in the approver role. So as long as that is set up, then you are good to go, and you'll have the rights to be able to approve any of the pages that you have listed and sent into the email. As I discussed in the content author training, when a page is created by a content author, it is automatically placed into the draft state. Once the page has been authored and submitted for approval, then an email gets sent to the content approver, in which case the page then goes into the waiting for approval state. Once the page has been reviewed by the content approver, it is either approved, in which case then it goes into a published state and it is pushed live to the site, or it is rejected, and the page automatically gets sent back to the content author for them to review, along with an email that is sent as well. So now let's go into Module 1, where we will be approving or rejecting a page through the email notification. As a content approver, I've received an email from a content author of a page that I need to review. So up on my screen, I have the email. And in this email, you will see several things. One, it comes from ctgov-workflow.ct.gov. So just make sure that has not been put into your spam folder so you can get these. Along with it, you will see the content title. In this page, it says African elephant. And in the link that goes to where you can, if you select it, it actually takes you into the experience editor of Sitecore. Then you'll see the Sitecore path that shows you the back-end page of where this page sits inside of your agency website. The next three items is for tagging purposes only. And if you're a lift and shift agency, then you just can disregard these three items because they're not going to pertain to your website. If you are not a lift and shift author, then you would just look at these three items. In the first one, it's ct.gov topic. The second one is agency navigation, and the third one is a list template. If any of these have been this page has been tagged to any of these sections, it's going to display here inside this section. In this particular example, this page was not tagged at any level, so there is no need to be looking through that. You also can see the updated by, which shows the content author's name, and then you can see who submitted the actual approver, or who submitted the actual page. You can also see on the updated by, you can see the content author's name, so you'll know who actually submitted the page as a content author. The next thing is the workflow comments, in which once they submitted the page, they had a comment field to fill out, and you can see anything as a content approver. You can see what they put in there. In this example, it shows, please review this page. It needs to go live as soon as possible. All right. So as a content approver, my first action is to just go ahead and select the link. And when I do that, it automatically takes me to the Sitecore login page in which I can enter my username and password. Once I get logged into Sitecore, the link will now take me to the actual page in the Experience Editor mode. And I can see the changes or see the content that is needed to be changed. As a content approver, some things that I want to look for: spelling errors, grammatical changes, anything that has to follow any agency policy for verbiage or standard guidelines, things like that, and accessibility. Immediately, I see that the page says African elephant rather than the tiger display, so that kind of puts a red flag in my mind that I need to reject this page for whatever reason. So to do that, I want to be able to go in, I want to take myself out of preview mode and go into edit mode. And I do that by selecting the edit icon at the top of the ribbon. The page will refresh. And now I have a yellow message bar that appears with the word more linked I'm going to select the More link. And when I do that, it now expands, and it shows me this item must be, you must lock this item before you can edit it. So if I want to edit this page, I can. I would select the lock and edit to be able to make that happen. The second message is in the blue message bar, and it says this item is waiting for approval in the workflow state group 1 training workflow. And then I have 2 links, the ability to approve this page or reject this page. So I already know that this page is kind of conflicting with what the email said. So I'm going to submit this page as a rejection. I'm going to select the reject link. And when I do that, a comment box appears. And I want to tell the content author why I'm rejecting this page. So I'm going to enter in my comment. Once I select the OK button, the page will refresh, and an email automatically gets sent back to the content author that contains my comments in it for them to be able to make the modifications and submit it back to an approver for review again. Okay, let's see, fast forward, and now the page has actually been remodified by the content author, and I get another email. So I'm going to go back into my email, and I can see the content author has resubmitted this page, and immediately the page title has been changed. It now says African elephant, and the Sitecore path goes to an African elephant. But I'm going to check the rest of the content to make sure everything's good. So I'm going to select the link once again. I get automatically taken to the Sitecore login, and I'm going to log in. Page will refresh, and now I am back into the Experience Editor mode. I'm still in preview mode, so I can review it, but I can't make any changes if I want to. To make any changes, or to actually submit or reject this page, I need to take myself out of preview mode and go into edit mode. So I'm going to select the edit icon in the ribbon once again. And I have a yellow message bar with the warning message of a more link. I select the word more. And then I have another message. It says you must lock this item before you can edit it. So if I want to make any changes to this page, I can select lock edit, and it allows me to make any modifications. Underneath that is the blue message bar that says this item is waiting approval, workflow state, in the group 1 training workflow. Since I am an approver in the Group 1 training workflow, I'm receiving this message, and it tells me it is waiting for my approval. So it is moved from the draft state into the waiting for approval state. I now have the ability to approve or reject straight from this page by selecting one of the links, approve or reject. I'm going to go down, scroll through the page, and look at any changes. See if I need to make any links. I can select any of the links that will take me to where I need to go. Image looks good, but I noticed that there's a little period that's missing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock and edit this page and make the change myself, because I don't think that it's necessary for me to send it back to the content editor for them to make this small little change and waste however much time it's going to take for it to go back into submission for me to review it again. So I'm going to select lock and edit from the yellow message bar. And now, if you can see, as I have the ability to edit, anything that I can edit has a blue outline appear around it. So I'm going to just select the content, and I can just make my change right here. Added my period at the end of the paragraph. Everything else looks pretty good, so I'm going to save my changes. Select the little save icon at the top of the page. Shows all my changes. My changes have now been saved into Sitecore. It is once I selected the lock and edit, then the page has been checked out, and I can only author it as a content approver. If I want this page to be authored again by the content author or anybody else, I need to check it in. So I select the unlock icon from the Experience Editor ribbon. When I do that, the more link appears, and it just gives me the message lock and edit once again. Now, at this point in time, I can approve my change. So I'm going to select the approve link. And I have a dialog box that appears that lets me submit a comment back to the content author for them to see. So I'm just letting the author know that I made a small little grammar change so they don't freak out. Select the OK button. Page refreshes and everything looks good. And that's how you approve and reject a page straight from email notifications that are given. In our next segment, we're going to go through our module 2 and we'll approve and reject through the workbox.